Okay, so we're looking at continuous random variables. So these are ones where you have to draw graphs and find areas under curves. So in these ones, first couple you need to sketch and then prove that they are or are not. So I'm hoping they are, but let's see how they go. Okay, so when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so we're back. My pen on. Get a nice colour. Okay. So first one is y equals a quarter. Okay, so this is fx. This is x. And we're going between -1 and 3. So I've got to come back a little bit. Okay, so that's what the graph looks like. And then I'll do it in different colours so you can see what the graph actually looks like. So, change to blue, come on. Still not change. Okay, there we are. So that, and then it drops down, and then goes that way, and that way. Okay, so to prove it, we need to prove the area is 1. So that gap is 4. The height is 1. 4 times a quarter equals 1. So the first one is done. Okay, next one. B. Hopefully it'll be a bit harder than that. fx. X. Okay, so we've got this one we'll do first. So between -1 and a half. So there's -1. There's a half, and we're going to go backwards. Oh damn! So -2. Okay. Change colours. Okay, so a half. Let's say that's a half, just there. So between -1 and a half, it's that one. So we've done that one first, and then it drops down and goes that way. But between -2 and -1, we've got this one. So we need to, hopefully they'll join up here, otherwise we're in trouble. Okay, so when we put -1 there, -1 is -1/2, -1/2 plus a half is a half, so that means they join up. And then -2 can come in, -2 times a half is -1. -1 plus 1 is 0. So that's our shape. Okay. So it's a trapezium. Okay. So the height of the trapezium, is a half. That length is 2.5 that way. And this length up here is 1/2, so the area equals height on 2 a plus b equals a quarter times 4 equals 1. So that is also a PDF. Okay, so practice your sketching skills. Now obviously if they don't join up, then you don't have a PDF as well, but they did join up. Okay, come across. Okay, so this next one here, we've got to sketch it. Well, we don't have to sketch it, but it's probably best that you sketch it and then you look for integrals. Okay, so have a go when you're ready. Might take a little bit of time, but let's have a go. Alright, let's have a look. fx and x. Okay, 3 and 5 are the critical numbers. Okay, so when we put 3 in there, 5 minus 3 is 2, half of 2 is 1. So that's the first one. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, that's nice and easy. So it's so the function goes down and then goes across and then drops down and then goes backwards. Okay, so that gap is 2, that gap is 1, just proving, okay, so the area equals 1. So we didn't have to prove it, but I did it anyway. Don't know why, but I did. Okay. So probably at x is greater than 4 is that area. So the first one, probably that x is less than 4. Sorry, less than 4. It's, yeah, that side. Sorry, not that one. Is integral from 3 to 4 of a half 5 minus x dx. Okay, so the answer is not going to be a half, even though it's halfway along, the answer is not a half. So I'll take the half out the front, and then 5 becomes 5x. X squared on 2 is okay. 4, 3. Okay, 20 minus 4 squared is 16 over 2 is 8. That's the first number. 5 squared is 15. 3 squared is 9 minus 4.5. So we get a half. 12 minus 10.5. That's right. So we got a half times 1.5, and that equals 3/4. Okay. So again, with these sort of questions, if you ever get an answer bigger than 1, you know you're wrong. Okay. The answers have to be less than 1, and you can't have negatives. Okay. So next one, a couple more questions we're going to do. So B, probability will be. Let's see, it'll take a little bit of time. I don't know why I chose those numbers, just being a pain. And then a half bracket 5 minus x dx, and it's going to be a pain. Okay, so I'm going to pause and do those calculations on the side and come back. Okay, so we're back. So I did those calculations off camera. So when I put them in, I end up with 0.6785. So it's a silly answer, but you'll be asked to go to 2 decimal places or something like that. Okay, next one is a conditional question. So again, if you're not sure, like the numbers go 3, 4, 5. So the first one, probability that x is less than 4 is that, and it has to be also less than 4.3. So when they overlap is just the answer less than 4. So that's going to be the intersection, and then this is going to be event B. So we need to get the answer for less than 4, which I think we did in the first part. Yeah, we did. And then we've got to do less than 4.3, which we've sort of done as well. So let's just. So probability that x is less than 4, given x is less than 4.3, is less than 4.3. Okay, so the answer for x, so x is less than 4 we've already done. That was the 3/4 answer. I don't think we actually have done the 4.3 answer though. So less than 4.3 equals 3 to 4.3 of a half 5 minus x dx. So it's, take the half out, 5x minus x squared on 2, 4.3 to 0, and again I'll go offline and just do this calculation and come back in a sec. Okay, so I'm back live. I made a mistake there. I put a 0 and it should be a 3, so I'll put that there. I put the calculation in. I got 0.875. So, going back to the question up here, we've got 0.75 on top and 0.8775 underneath. 0.75 divided by 0.8775, and that gives us 8547. Okay, so again, be suspicious, be careful that you don't get answers bigger than 1. Okay, and now the next one is find a value such that the area equals 0.6. Okay, so let's have a look at that one. So we want the area to be 0.6. Okay, so, and was it less than or greater than? Sorry, it was less than x. Okay, so, and again, sorry again. Okay. So we want to find some value such that the area there is 0.6. We need to find the value. So we're going to integrate between 3 and x and get 0.6. Okay, so 0.6 equals between 3 and x of a half 5 minus x dx. I'm hoping this won't be too hard, otherwise 5x minus x squared on 2. Okay, it's looking like a quadratic. Okay, so I'll double both sides. I get 1.2 equals 5x minus x squared on 2. Then I'll double everything. 2.4 equals 10x minus x squared, and then take everything to one side. Okay, so it's going to be a quadratic, and I'm going to stop and do that on the side and come back in a sec. I've just come back live again. I forgot to put the x and the 3 in, so I'm going to do that. So I forgot to put the subs in, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to double again. So when I put x in, where x is, I've got 5x minus x squared on 2, so that doesn't change, but I forgot to put the 3 in. 15 minus 4.5. Okay, so 5x minus x squared on 2 minus 10.5. And then take that across, so 10.5, 13.7 equals 5x minus x squared on 2, and then double everything, so 27.4 equals 5x minus x squared on 2, and then bring it across. No, we got rid of the 2 now, sorry. Oh no, we didn't, forgot to double the 10 there. So doubled everything, so x squared minus 10x plus 27.4 equals 0. Now I'm going to stop and do a quadratic in a sec and come back. Okay, so we're back again. So I made a mistake here, so it's 11.7, not 13.7, and then that's 23, that's 23. And then when I chuck it in the quadratic formula, I end up with two answers, and this answer can't exist because the function's not defined past 5. And so there's your x value. Okay, 3.735. And it was a bit longer, but got there in the end. Okay, moving across to the next page. Okay, for the function blah blah, find the mean, the modian, the median, and the standard deviation. So again, I highly recommend that you sketch it. So it's defined between 2 and 3. So we've got fx, so when we put 2 in, 2 minus 2 is 0, 3 minus 2 is 1. So the function is, alright. Okay, I'm back again. I just had to fix up the function. The function didn't give me an area of 1, so I've just changed the function to 2x minus 4 between 2 and 3. So when you put the 2 in, 2 2 to 4 minus 1 is 0, 2 3 is a 6 minus 4 is 2, and then we've got a 1 by 2, which is an area of 1. So that's giving me the right triangle. Okay, so we've got to do the mean, the mode, okay, the median. Okay, the mean and the median are going to be the harder ones. And standard deviation, we're going to do that ex squared again. Okay, so you need to have a go yourself, and then when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so the mean is between 2 and 3 of x fx. Okay, so we've got x fx dx. So we've got integral from 2 to 3 of x bracket 2x minus 4 dx. So now we can, that's 2x squared. 2x squared minus 4x. So we've got 2x cubed over 3 minus 2x squared when you add the power and divide. So now we do our calculation. So 2 times 27 over 3 minus 2 times 9 minus 2 times 8 over 3 minus 2 times 4. Okay, we've got 54 on 3 minus 18 minus 16 over 3 plus 8. Get my calculator out. 54 over 3 minus 18 minus 16 over 3 plus 8 is 2 2/3. Again, this value 2 2/3 must, Okay, we have to be inside the 2 to 3. The expected value is 2 2/3. If you get an answer outside the range, then you've done something wrong. Okay, so that's the mean done. Okay, mode. The mode is the score that occurs the most, and that's just the highest point. So the highest point is there, a score of 2. So the mode is 3. The score that occurs the most is the highest frequency, or the probability, sorry. Okay. The median is when you have to find the area to be a half. Okay, so it's going to be a bit cluttered. So the median is half the area, so to speak. So we've got a half equals, so we're going to go from 2 to some letter m of the function, and the function is just 2x minus 4 dx. So a half equals, integrate, so we've got x squared minus 4x between m and 2, so a half equals m squared minus 4m, okay, that's the first number, minus 2 squared is 4, 2 squared is 4, 4 minus, that's minus 8, so we've got a half equals m squared minus 4m, 4 minus 8 is minus 4, so it's plus 4. So now we've got our quadratic, m squared minus 4m plus 3.5 equals 0. So I'm going to pause and use the quadratic formula, see what I get. Okay, so I'm back and I've used the quadratic formula and I've got 2 answers, and then I'll just check where my graph is defined. My graph is defined between 2 and 3, which means that that answer is not right. So that's the median, 2.707. Okay, and the last one, again it's going to take us a little bit of time. Okay, we can't get the standard deviation without getting the variance. Okay, so we've got to do the variance first, which is the x squared calculation. Alright, so ex squared equals integral from 2 to 3 of x squared bracket 2x minus 4, 2, 3, 2x cubed minus 4x squared. Now that becomes 2x 4 over 4, so that's going to be x4 over 2, and that will be 4x cubed 3, 3 to 2. Okay, I'm going to pause and do the calculation, come back in a sec. Okay, so I've done that ex squared calculation and I got 7.167, and so jumped too quick. So the variance is ex squared minus ex all squared, 7.167, and the expected value, I have forgotten already. Expected value was this value, 2 2/3. Don't forget to square it. Okay, so 7.167 minus 2. I'll just do as 2.67 squared equals, ooh, that's a really small number. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. So the standard deviation is the square root of that. Okay, so we've got 1952. Okay, so that's the standard deviation. So the calculations, ex squared minus ex all squared is the same with discrete and continuous. And that's the end of that question. Okay, last page. Okay, a continuous random variable x can take values 0 to 2 and is defined by a bracket 2 minus x all squared. Find a and then find a simple probability. Okay, so what we've got here is, we've got a when x is 0, it's going to be 0, and then when x is 2, it's going to look like that. It's an upside down parabola. X is 2, it goes back to 0. So what we're trying to do is find the area to be equal to 1. Okay, so first thing we do is 0 to 2, a bracket 2 minus x squared dx. 1. So got to integrate that. So add 1 to the power, divide by the power, divide by the derivative. From 2 to 0 equals 1. Okay, so putting 2 in first, that gives you 0, so the first number is 0. When you put 0 in, you get, okay, so we've got minus, and we've got 8 over minus 3 equals 1. That becomes a plus. Oh, we forgot about the a at the front, so just bring the a out there. A is there. So a equals 3/8. Just flip it up and multiply across. Okay, so greater than 1.5, somewhere there. So we can go 1.5 to 2, or we can go 0 to 1.5 and subtract. Now I'm going to do that because 0 is the easy substitution to do, otherwise you go 1.5 to 2. So probability that x is less than 1.5 is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go 0 to 1.5. A is 3/8 of our function 2 minus x squared dx. So I take the 3/8 out, and I've got 2 minus x cubed over minus 3 from earlier, 1.5 to 0. So I've still got 3/8 there. So 2 minus 1.5 is 0.5 cubed over 3 minus 0. So I do that on a calculator. Okay, 0.5 to the power of 3 equals, divided by 3 equals, times 3/8 equals 0.015625, and seems like a very small number. So I might just stop and just check my calculation because that looks a bit small. Yep, I found my mistake. It's not 0 back here. Okay, when I put 0 in, it's 2 cubed, so it's 8 over 3. So it's, when I put 0 in, it's not a 0, it's 2 cubed, it's 8. So that's my mistake. So I'm back to 0.5 to the power of 3 divided by 3. That didn't work. 0.5 to the power of 3 tab across, divided by 3 minus 8 over 3 equals, it's a negative number. So I'm doing something wrong, so I'm just going to pause and go back and have another look. And I found my mistake. It's a plus sign in there. So try it again. 0.5 to the power of 3 divided by 3 plus 8/3 equals, and then times that by 3/8. And now I've got an answer bigger than 1, so I'll go check it again. Sorry, this is stuffing it up. And again, found my mistake. I had left out the minus sign there. 0.5 to the power of 3 for the 4th time, divided by 3 over 3 equals, times by 3/8 equals, and finally I get an answer. Makes some sense. 984375, and then that's that side, and then I'll just go 1 minus. So it's a small answer, so I'm hoping I didn't stuff it up, but the answer may be, I have stuffed it up, but it may be this answer. So that's on the other side there, and I think the answer could be that. But if I've made a mistake, the method's the important thing, and I've done 3 mistakes already on this one, so that's it. Okay, thanks, bye.